Last week, we reported on Doctor Strange actor Benedict Cumberbatch's statements about officially not being a part of Avengers Doomsday. The very next day, the actor recanted his claims in an interview with Business Insider, saying, "I got that wrong. I am in the next one," adding, "Don't ever believe anything I say." Elsewhere, Chris Evans had a record of his own to set. Chris Evans had a record of his own to set straight, denying the many reports that that he has been. Chris Evans had a record of his own to set straight, denying the many reports that he has been cast to return in Doomsday, while speaking with Esquire, claiming, "That's not true, though. This always happens. I mean, it happens every couple years, ever since Endgame. I've just stopped responding to it. Yeah, no, happily retired." Finally, in an interview on Andy Cohen Live, the legendary Patti LuPone may have shed some light on the future of Disney Plus series WandaVision and Agatha all along, saying showrunner Jac Schaeffer told her she doesn't do second seasons. Lots of Marvel actors saying and unsaying lots of things. Has Feige loosened up on the once ironclad security measures in place, or are Marvel and its stars embracing the lies?
Yeah, so I mean, we have three really distinct things here, and I'm not going to spend very much time on the first two because I think I can get right to the point. Benedict Cumberbatch, come on, man. Like, well, come on, man. And then Chris Evans.
Just come on.
Yeah, Chris Evans is a liar. I mean, Chris Evans is a liar. Like, this is Andrew Garfield 2.0. Do not believe it. Every major trade reported that he was involved in this movie. Now, he might not be coming back as Captain America. All right, like, I'll give him that.
Right.
But he is in that movie. Okay, he will be in that movie. He is a liar. Capital L, or all caps, liar. And then the main thing I think, like, that I want to really touch on here is this Patti LuPone interview. Like, Jac Schaeffer, she pretty much told her, "I don't do second seasons," and then she told her too, and this was an interesting bit, that Marvel wanted her to do WandaVision season 2, and she did not take them up on it. Like, she told them that she did not want to do a WandaVision season 2, and that to me was really fascinating, right? Like, this idea of not wanting to continue that story. Now, she did get the spin-off of WandaVision, of Agatha all along, but then she left this, writing-wise, in a place that sort of demands that the story continue, but then has insinuated that she will not continue it, that it might be someone else or whatever, or maybe just not continue at all, which would not be good. So it's this interesting thing, right? Like, when you're talking about Wanda, and I think we all expected there to be a WandaVision season 2. I mean, at least I did. Like, when it was their first show, it was the first Marvel show. It had the big budget. It was kind of like the flagship that they built this, like, MCU streaming on. And so then and it's their most popular one too, the most viewed one. So for there not to be a WandaVision season 2, but then to know that it was in the works, or at least was something that Feige was interested in doing, that's really interesting. And it does make me wonder a little bit about Jac Schaeffer and, like, what, the idea of, like, not wanting to do second seasons. I get that. I respect that. Like, wanting to do a one-off, having a story that you want to tell. But still, it is odd, to kind of think about this, like, character of Wanda and kind of wondering, would Multiverse of Madness had been maybe a little different if there had been a WandaVision season 2? Would Wanda's character maybe have gone in a different direction? Like, we know Scott Derrickson was attached, and then he wasn't, and then you got the Sam Raimi version, and it kind of opens up a lot of questions about, I think, those characters. But I think it definitely raises questions too about a potential second season of Agatha, or just a continuing of that story that we saw, which was obviously left in sort of a cliffhanger. So overall, I mean, a lot of stuff going on there. Again, Cumberbatch, come on, man. Chris Evans, you're a liar. Don't tell Patti LuPone secrets, I guess, is the takeaway, if you're Jac Schaeffer.
It's interesting. You think, I never got the impression there was going to be a WandaVision season 2. I knew they would continue the story somehow, but it was kind of new. It was a new era. Disney Plus shows were a new era, and they were all kind of like, I always thought they were being touted as, like, mini series, until Loki. We got Loki season 2. But really, that's the only thing we've gotten a sequel to, right? Nothing else, I don't believe. What if?
Only thing that's gotten different. A second season, correct? Yeah.
But the other franchises like Star Wars, has done. I mean, Ahsoka and Andor and Mandalorian, like they've gone multiple seasons. Marvel, they haven't really touched it too much.
And that's all live action. It is worth mentioning animated shows like What If had 3 seasons, and Star Wars Visions has had a couple of seasons. So yeah.
I mean, Jac Schaeffer kind of came out later last year and said, my vision was Wanda, Agatha, Vision. So that trilogy of series is supposed to feed into one another. And Paul Bettany, we reported him saying on the red carpet that he knew he needed to watch Agatha all along to prep for the Vision series. So I think I'm going to assume that was always her plan. And probably, I mean, when you're the president CEO of something as big as Marvel, if something's successful, of course you're going to say, do you want to do this another time? But I kind of applaud Jac Schaeffer for being like, no, this is the story I want to tell, and this is how we're going to tell it. And I also just love her, so I'm going to defend her.
Yeah, I'm on board with this, and it's the way, to me, especially WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, and I'm trying to think, Miss Marvel. Those never felt like they were supposed to have sequels to me. Now, Agatha clearly is a sequel to WandaVision, but it's not WandaVision season 2. It's just continuing the story of one of those characters or some of those characters. And I think the same thing will be said of Vision Quest. I do think that'll work well as like a trilogy almost when it comes out. But just I think Marvel has moved away from the entire idea of the numbering system in their movies or TV shows. They don't do many season 2s. They don't do Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 is the only series I believe that has a numbered system, because I think they like thinking like it's Thor, the Dark World, it's Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's not Captain America 2, I think they know that like when you put a 2 on something, it sort of shrinks its audience a little bit because people who haven't seen the first one won't go. And so they just name things. I think years ago they made that decision. I think they're kind of continuing that in there. But I think I'm hoping that changes with Daredevil, because I want Daredevil to continue. As long as it's good.
Well, they're making a second. They're going to start filming that. So soon. So
are they?
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. There's a second season for sure on the way of Daredevil.
Cool. Good.
Season 1 is Daredevil Born Again, and then season 2 is Daredevil something else. I'd be totally open to that. I know shows like Atlanta have incorporated stuff like that. So I'm down for it. I actually prefer like unique titles as opposed to like a numbered title. It just gives me a little bit more to grab onto and gives me some idea about what to expect. And to your point, it does open it up to a wider audience. I think that may not have the familiarity with the original film or TV series, what have you. But I think the WandaVision, Agatha all along Vision connection there has been discussed pretty thoroughly. I do think that we're going to see the culmination of that trilogy in the Vision series. So I have to imagine that Billy is going to play a major factor in that series. But I'm going to come back to our 2 big stars here that are, saying things and unsaying things. And I'm conflicted because these are 2 of my favorite characters. I love Captain America and I love Doctor Strange. But for whatever reason, I'm willing to give Benedict Cumberbatch a little more flack. And it's funny because I think his statements are a little more egregious. It's just like you said, Jay, it's just like, come on, kind of get your shit together. Like, what are you doing?
It's literally him saying
it's
it, then him
like
unsaying it.
For it.
Yeah.
If I say this, what are you going to do, Kevin?
Well, maybe that is what he was doing. Maybe he wants some extra attention or wants to get cast in something totally on the table. But I just kind of took it as just like what I said previously. I think he's a popular actor, has a lot of stuff being thrown at him. He probably just needs someone on his team, keeping tabs on him a little better and guiding him. But the Chris Evans thing it annoys me more because I just feel like it's just like, what are you doing? Because you just popped up in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it almost feels kind of like disingenuous to me because you waited until now to deny these claims. These have been out there for months and months and months, and you haven't said anything. And now and I get where he's coming from. He's trying to do his buddy Anthony Mackie a favor, and there was some backlash when people, thought that Captain America was going to be returning, Steve Rogers was going to be returning, and people were like, hey, what about Sam Wilson's version? Are we, stealing his limelight too soon? And I think that is a fair argument, but it's all so surface level and obvious, and it does feel disingenuous to me. Where Chris Evans, I feel like normally he's not that guy. Normally he's coy, he's good with the media, he's good at talking around things. But I never just really got that level of like, I never felt that manipulated by him as I do with this particular lie. But at the end of the day, I would rather be lied to as much as we're going back and forth. Will they? Won't they? Will? I like to be surprised when I sit down in the theater. So as you know, perplexing it can be at times, in the long run, I'm down for it. Lie to me.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ Stafford in the chat, thank you. He reminded me that Guardians of the Galaxy was a numbered series, volumes 1, 2, and 3.
I feel like when you add the volume on there, it does a
yeah,
little
but it's
extra.
like volume is like it almost like invokes like the tape, like the music.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
Get, like,
Definitely,
you know
does,
what I mean.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Awesome
it is
mix,
true. They are
volume 1,
numbered,
volume 2.
but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you completely that it does sort of like obscure it a little bit, but it is numbered. So good call. You just watched a clip from Multiverse News. If you liked it, go to our channel. We got a whole episode that it comes from. So go check that out and hit the like and subscribe. And we got lots of clips you'll enjoy, but also full hour-long episodes of Multiverse News with lots of things that don't even make it to clips. So check us out.
You stay clippy.